UYU Estral match is one that we had to make sure we showed you guys because, of course, this could be a very big matchup at the event. Of course, Estral making the grand finals at San Diego, and of course, UYU, man, one of those teams you always expect to be in the grand finals, at least in the past few years of Gears Esports. And as we hop right in, Estral seemingly with a complete wipe, not a single elimination on the side of UYU. So we didn't really see what happened. We didn't really see how they got the party started.
But look at the eliminations.
If you're a fan of the LATAM boys, I mean, that's a hell of a start.
Absolutely. And, you know, we talked a little bit about pre-show right before the pick and bans, the kind of storied history between these two, at least when it comes to Emergence Day. Week 9 being a historic week where we saw UYU, I believe at the time being named NRG, ended up losing first round, which just literally never happens. And it was at the hands of Estral beating them 2-1 overall map counts, and that was, of course, on Asylum, Exhibit, and Training Grounds. Training Grounds being one of the maps, or at least a tiebreaker map between these two in week number 9, ended in 5-1. Estral absolutely destroyed NRG at that time, now UYU, and off to already a great start, leading 1-0. We could be seeing maybe that success replicated, but there's still a lot more match left.
Yeah, you're going to see UYU get very aggressive over onto the B hill, grab that quick cap, and now it's up to Estral to kind of react, and so far so good. They do get the down on the mental, and they get the down on the summons. You're going to see Cardia being pretty careful as he now hops over onto that B hill, and at the very same time, his teammates, they're fighting a bit of a 2v2 over on the UYU home hill as well. Explosive is there for the trade. Now a bit of a 1v1, Fiercely versus Explosive for the hill. Estral, they have taken control of Beast. They're going to start to build a lead, and let's say at the very same time, Taylor, someone from UYU's made their way over to A.
Yeah, Explosive's doing a great job holding Fiercely back, and now Praised will throw his hat in the ring now. Over to the home hill of Estral, but he just gets pinned up. Not a lot he can do in that situation. He will get dropped, but hey, it worked, right? The distraction ended up working UYU's favor. That gave them enough time to get onto Bravo and secure that in their favor when Estral had it off the rip. So I gotta say, hey, maybe there's something to this. Mental, though, in a very awkward position, goes for the Mistral straight into Fiercely, sideswiping him. As a team pickup will happen, Explosives down low. I got to say, Fiercely is in a very bad position along with his teammate. Hopefully they can make it out, Ryan.
Yeah, UYU continue to kind of angle players out, but to Estral's credit, they're wolfpacking well, and they are there for the revive, so the numbers advantage right back in the Swarm team's favor. You do see they have the B hill, and they're continuing to just be there for each other. They're playing super, super close, but I guess the only downfall to that, Taylor, is eventually you only get 3 downs, right? If UYU can continue to angle them out, continue to rack up those downs, eventually those players will fall, but at the very least, Estral have continued now hold a setup. They're starting to extend the lead a little bit, but here comes the counter push now from the COG team.
Absolutely, and this counter push looks like it could be strong. Nice flash thrown out. Reflame forced to back off. Some good chip damage from Solars, who gets caught off guard once again by none other than Fiercely. He has been a man on fire, and if he can pick up this one, man, I don't want to be messing with him. Explosives up front, the trip cap into effect. Estral looking to lock down Charlie. That's going to force UYU back, and do they get the break? Yes, they do, onto A just in the nick of time. But this Estral team, Ryan, is leading by about 70 points. They're about the Apex at 200 mark, and they are looking incredibly strong.
Yeah, UYU right now has a bit of an advantage. You see a 4v3 on the map, and they've now made their way over to both A and C hill. So one of the scariest moments, if you are a Gears Esports team, are these situations now where you need to give UYU just one hill to break. They're so good at getting that final objective and winning that final fight. So we're going to see how Estral can do from a defensive standpoint. They do manage to get back hold of the B hill. They have the 2 cap now as we eclipse the 220 mark, and you're going to see Summons choose not to spawn back in, Explosive not spawning back in, and Praised will likely not spawn back in either. So UYU going to concede this round. They made a good last-second push. It was almost enough, but Estral managed to be there on the defensive end. They got back their home hill, and now they find themselves up 2-0 in Training Grounds.
I like Estral, right? They're just rotating home hills constantly. That's that LATAM style, if you will, right? That's something they're always good at.
Yeah, I was impressed by, again, the wolfpacking, right? How close they played over at B. There's a lot of times where UYU did a good job of identifying players and getting that down, but the member of Estral was always right there for the pickup before they can get the full elimination. So good job by them playing together, playing close, and a lot of times in that B hill, you kind of have to do that, right? There's a lot of angles that look down into that B hill, a lot of chance for some good team fire. So again, just another heads up play by the LATAM boys, and when it comes down to these weapon placements, we're going to see a lot of, again, utility in the back end, utility in the side, pretty business as usual. When it comes to this map, a lot of times you do see the drop shot. If it's going to get placed, it gets placed sort of over on the second half over at E. So no use to put that down just yet. Still plenty of map left.
Fight for Overlook is so incredibly crucial, and that's why UYU will send 2 strong and actually make that 3-4 strong up top, only leaving Summons behind for Bravo. They're going for this full overextension right off the rip, and if this is successful, that could be big. But you see the kill feed lighting up red, and Explosives actually will drop Mental. The quick pickup will happen, and that's going to put Fiercely on the back pedal. At first, he's trying to throw his hat in the ring, but not a lot he can do. UYU commits quite a bit of resources to get this home hill, but it looks like at least it paid off, right? They got the home hill, but what was it worth? They lost A in return. They don't have control of Bravo, and this is turning into a bloodbath, but watch out. UYU is now starting to slay out. Mental is holding his own, and Estral now committing the resources. Crack, though, with a nice chunk up close. And once they push these final couple of members back from UYU, they'll finally solidify their own home hill. But Summons will get dropped. Fiercely comes through big, and that's Solars and Summons going down, but UYU is going for Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, that was very interesting. You saw Estral chaining a lot of kills together. Meanwhile, all 3 hills are starting to be cap blue. So that was almost, like I said, an insane finish of the round, but Estral Esports do manage to get back control of their home hill. They get back control of the neutral hill as well, and when the dust settles, I mean, the score is still almost tied, right? Estral just now beginning to build a lead, and you're going to see a couple members of UYU trying to push over on the backside of the map. Crack is there waiting. Does he have the reinforcements? He has Fiercely up top, and it looks like he has another member coming towards the home hill, but in all honesty, Taylor, it looks like Crack is doing plenty on his own, now taking out 2 different members of UYU, kind of stopping the push in its tracks. And it looks like at the same time, Taylor, speaking of Mr. Krabs, Reflame, he's made his way over to A. Is anyone in position from UYU? The answer is no. The definition of a Mr. Krabs mid-fight finds his way over to the home hill. Estral Esports.
That cannot happen.
With a very, very heads-up play, now extending that lead out to 3-0.
Let's talk about Mexico, right? We talked about map pulls. Training grounds is
oh my God,
is
the crowd, if that had happened live, the crowd would be going bonkers.
All that aside, right? And you still owe me some videos, by the way. You said you'd be sending me some pics and videos of how the scene is over Mexico because they just hit different over there. But regardless, drop shot's going to be placed, by the way. So that's going to make things so much more interesting up top. But you talk about map pulls, Ryan. UYU, they seem to really struggle when it comes to training grounds, and that's one that we pretty much see every single series.
Yeah, like I said, we're seeing more and more drop shots as the weeks go on. But into Gears of War 4, I mean, we saw one on almost every single map. We'll see if maybe Gears 5 starts to move in that direction as well. You're going to see a lot of early utility flashbangs left and right. As these teams do make their way over for the weapon, is going to be Reflame who comes out with that drop shot, but the kills are certainly favoring UYU, at least in the beginning. Currently seeing at a 5v3. Like I said, Estral did get that power weapon. You're going to see Reflame giving it to his teammate off a spawn. Every team somewhat has, one of those power weapon players, right? One of those guys you want to make sure you give it to. So that player could be adverse over for Estral.
Hey,
he literally walked right to him, man. That's roadside service.
He hits the first one. There you go, right? So, hey, can he hit the second? That's a bit premature, but hey, that's going to be all right still. Gets the spacing down. Summons in a very bad position. He'll get finished off. Mental and Summons will drop. That's 2 down now, and that opens up the door for Estral now to go ahead and head over towards Bravo. Short respawns, last round of the half. And a power weapon, something to think about, right? At least about, 45 seconds, a minute from now, there's going to be another fight at least up top on that overlook positioning. Or at least on that E-hill for the second half for the drop shot. Reflame on his final down will in fact get finished off. But regardless, Estral once again back in control. They don't have the point lead, but that's not going to last very long.
UYU going to get a hold of that B-hill. Got another situation where kind of Wolfpack and holding hands does pay off. They do end up getting the down, get the quick revive, and finish the kill off. So right as the score does tie up, you're going to see the COG team get a hold of B. And Estral's kind of there waiting, right? They're starting to angle these 2 players out. Good teamwork, using that overlook spot, and of course using sort of the heaven spot to grab that neutral hill right back. So UYU build a bit of a lead, about 12 seconds. Ooh. Very quickly will that lead shift, but Mental and Summons, yeah, if they keep getting these kills up top, they could very well move right over to the Estral home. You're seeing it right now. Explosive makes his way right over to A, and just like that, the map is flipped once again, and the 2-cap back in the COG team's hands, and it looks like they're slaying out at the same time.
Absolutely. Crack has a lot on his plate at this point. Luckily, he's got his teammates joining him as he hits a nice shot onto Explosives. Fiercely managed to get the finish, and just like that, 3 go down for UYU. That opens up the door for Overlook. Estral quickly making their way forward, now taking a play out of the playbook from UYU, who was just going for the overextension. Plus, we have the drop shot now in adverse hands, and this might spell trouble Scoreline still very close. Estral, if they can get this home hill capture, they're going to be, oh my gosh, and a three-piece comes through. And that's going to be 4 with Mythal dropping. Last one alive is going to be Praised.
There's a big 1v1 right now. Reflame versus Praised. Reflame does win that fight. Members of UYU will be able to spawn right back up, but you're going to see Solar sitting on his last spawn. You're going to see Summons if he comes back in on his last spawn as well. Can these members of UYU get in there in time? Estral now do take back control of the time lead. Looking like they're slaying out on this second wave. Solar's now completely out of this round. A permanent 5v4. Make that a 5v3 for Estral Esports, and they're going to walk right over to the UYU home hill. They are going to finish this round off strong. And Taylor, 4 rounds in a row by Estral Esports.
4 rounds in a row, and on top of that, too, as we get to see this replay, I just want to point this out. A quick play from Adverse, switches over to the drop shot, places it perfectly, gets 3, and then I believe it was meant to follow right after that.
And remember we talked about earlier in the round how they literally handed Adverse in particular that drop shot. We talked about, hey, maybe Adverse is their drop shot player. Now, drop shot isn't the hardest weapon in the world to use. I'll admit that, but there are certain players who are very good with that weapon in particular. So Adverse could be that guy. I mean, they specifically handed him the weapon, and he got a 3-piece with it to win a round. So
from last round to this round, when we've seen Adverse use the drop shot, he's only missed 1 drop shot, and he's picked up 4 different players. So basically, even though he misses 1, he shoots out 4 in total from the 2 times we've seen him use a drop shot. He's still 4 for 4, if you will. So I got to say, he's just that man. This battle, at least for the initial, has favored Estral off the rip every single time. And we see another bad initial from UYU. This is going to be a quick round. Estral's going to be winning this 5-0 and proving that from week 9 where they lost it 5-1 as a couple of trades will go down. But you notice all 5 members from Estral still up, but Crack, he will drop.
Yeah, I don't think they knew Explosive was there. I think they assumed that all the players were starting to retreat. Explosive makes them pay and now begins to move forward a little bit himself. Trying his best to navigate through all this different team fire, and in the midst of the madness, Mental does pick up the drop shot. He shoots one, actually doesn't end up getting a kill, and he finds himself falling as well. Summons, the last remaining member of 4-man white coming through from Estral Esports. Summons has plenty of time to buy now for his teammates to spawn back in, so UYU should be fine. But a good start for this LATAM team, and Summons, he's getting in there. He's getting some of these downs. They're just not able to finish the kills. Estral are once again there for the Wolfpack. They're going for the trip cap. Can anyone get there in time? The dynamic duo, Mental and Explosive, they show up right when they need it most. Can this duo get the final kills they need? The answer is going to be no. 5-0. What a start from Estral.
A hell of a start. Like I pointed out, guys, it was 5-1 in week 9, and that was the 3rd map where UYU was knocked out first round from Estral as the finger guns coming through, and rightly so from Cardia. Phenomenal plays from that man, but I got to say, you know, Estral's just so good on training grounds. That is 100% their map.
They're
that I think
strong.
any team that plays against them on training grounds, they're going to have to watch out.